thank you so much for being here today. Before we get started, I just quickly wanted to mention that I'm currently having a 20% off sale on my store. So if you were thinking about getting yourself a print or maybe even an original painting, this would be the perfect time to do so. The sale is going to be valid until Saturday, so if you want to check that out, the link to my website is going to be in the description below. And with that being said, I really hope you enjoyed the video and I'll let you get on with the painting portion. So I think the title of the video is pretty self-explanatory, but I essentially just want to show you what I typically draw and paint in my sketchbook in a week. And obviously this can vary a lot. There's weeks where I don't use my sketchbook tool and weeks where I'm painting and drawing in there every day, but I think I did 4 sessions this week in my sketchbook, and that's a pretty average for me. And the first proper one was on Tuesday. I sketched this drawing last week and I wanted to do a oil paint study. I do these a lot and you'll see another one later in the video as well. I really like doing these, and I actually used to paint mostly in my sketchbook back when I was using acrylics, and you can see a sketchbook tour of that on my channel, I think. But I do a lot of other paintings and more complex pieces now, like I'm working on a series at the moment, and so my sketchbook has also become a place to plan for those, and it's not as much of a collection of finished pieces anymore. It's a lot of behind the scenes that goes on before I get to doing a final painting. And so I wanted to show some of that as well. There's going to be some sessions like that later on in the video, but these studies, these are comfort painting for me. It's low pressure 20 to 30 minute oil sketches, and it's something that I always end up going back to every once in a while. I try to do these a couple times a week, and it's just a form of relaxation for me. I really love doing these, and these are referenced pretty much always. This particular study is a mix of 2 different references. The teacup on the left is from one of Jimenez's Patreon references, and if you don't know who she is, I'll leave the link to her channel in the description. She is an amazing artist and essentially who I learned to paint from. And then on the right, I'm painting from another reference. This one I took myself with some dried roses and Polaroid pictures, and I really like how the painting turned out. So I didn't really paint anything yesterday, I just kind of wasn't in the mood, but I'll be doing another version of this today, and it's more of Jimenez's Patreon references. She just shared a few different versions of the same composition that I really like. So I've already sketched it out. This page is just primed with gesso. I've been asked this a lot, so I thought I would mention. I prime all of my sketchbook pages that I want to paint with oils on with gesso. So that's how I'm able to paint on just a regular sketchbook with oils. And you can see this is what the sketch is looking like, and it's a very similar composition to this. It's the same flower jar and teacup, just, you know, this rose has been moved around and it's a vertical one, so it's gonna be interesting. I really like the colors that I picked for this one, so we'll see how this one is going to turn out. Okay, second painting. This one is one of my favorite studies that I've done recently. I really like how this one turned out, and you saw that I had already done a previous version of this one the week before. I did a smaller sketch of it, and I really like how that one turned out as well. But this one, I think the flowers, I did a really nice job with them. I've been practicing them a lot, so I'm happy it's kind of starting to show as well. And the way that I like to approach these pieces, where I feel like there's a lot going on, you know, there's flowers on the table and a teacup, and then the flowers in the jar and reflection, and there was reflection of the light through the glass on the table, so it was kind of there was a lot going on. The way that I approach these is I go by color groups a lot. So say I'm starting to paint the flowers and I'm mixing a nice orange for them, I'm gonna have a look and see whether I can find that color anywhere else in the painting. So I might find that in the tea and on the teacup and on the other flower and the petals on the table, and so I'm also putting the color down there instead of focusing on separate areas of the painting, which I know other artists like to do as well. I prefer to go by color groups, and I feel like that really helps me to keep the process more fluid and also keep the painting nice and loose, so I don't get obsessed with finishing a certain area of the painting when I haven't even started another one. It just helps me to look at the bigger picture altogether. Alright, that was a half-an-hour study. Really happy with how it turned out. I think obviously there's a few things that could be fixed. The teacup should be a lot lighter, and like I think I overworked it a bit around here. There was a point where it was looking really good and now it's a bit overworked, but I don't mind. I like how the flowers turned out. I think I'm learning to kind of stylize them a bit better. For a half-an-hour study, really happy with how it turned out, and I have to say it's very satisfying to look at the two pages together. You might have noticed that I'm actually switching around between two different sketchbooks, and it's the same sketchbook actually, it's just an A4 and an A5 version, and I like to have two because oil paint takes a while to dry. So if I've just painted something on one sketchbook, I can't like 2 hours later go back and paint something on the back of the page, so it's nice to have two different ones. But also the A4 gives me a bit more space to experiment, and to, if I'm doing sketches, I like to sketch on a bit of a bigger size. I don't like A3 sketchbooks though. Those I've never had a good experience with. I just find them uncomfortable. But even if I want to go a bit bigger, you know, I can just turn it vertical and I have an A3 sheet of paper to work on. But an A5 sketchbook is really handy to bring with you, and I haven't done this much in the winter, but I'm hoping as the months get warmer, I really want to get started again doing outdoor sketches and plein air painting. I'm really excited for that this summer. So that's, you know, it's just nice to have a bit of variety with them. But these last two sessions that you're going to be seeing is more of what goes on behind the scenes of my bigger paintings. So in the first one, I'm just doing some color tests for a painting that I actually started yesterday by the time I'm recording this voiceover, and I was trying to figure out colors. You'll see me talk more about that in the Painting Diaries episode coming later this week, but you know, just experimenting with different colors that I don't normally include in my paintings. And then I also did 2 quick thumbnail paintings to figure out what color palette altogether I liked best, and I was annotating those, trying to figure out again what I like best. It really helps me to write down my thoughts so I can go back and revisit them. And then in the second session, I was back at my parents' place, so I didn't have oil paint with me, and I just brought my sketchbook and a pencil, and I was trying to come up with new ideas for, again, paintings. So I was just doing some quick portrait sketches. A lot of these are mostly focusing on composition, so I'm not actually even drawing the facial features. Like, a lot of these faces don't have eyes and noses and mouths. It's just the outline of the face and maybe the hair and the body pose, and just trying to figure out different poses that I can explore and compositions that I would like to try out. So this is something that really helps me when it comes to figuring out where I want to go with the painting. But that is about it. That's all I did in my sketchbook last week. I hope it was interesting for you to see, and I would love to know whether you like to see these videos, whether you'd like me to make more of them. I can definitely do that. And with that being said, I'm going to see you very soon with a new video, and I hope that you're doing well. I wish you a lovely week. Bye!